It's upon us, and we're getting our green thumbs going thanks to Master Gardener Sarah Bailey, who's back for another season of teaching us. We're so grateful that you're back.
I'm back. Spring's almost, well, spring's here, but it's almost here.
It's almost here.
Would you talk with Mother Nature about
Tomorrow,
being a little more
great. I know. Forget it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So is this the time to start getting the seedlings in?
It is now time to start them.
Okay.
Well, everybody starts them too soon. They start them in February, and they now all have long, skinny things on their windowsills that are not going to do anything.
I feel like I'm late to the game and start like
You're right on time.
Okay.
You're right on time if you're going to start stuff indoors.
Okay.
I've already started peas outdoors because they can be started in the cold.
They're hardier.
I've already started Swiss chard in my cold frame outdoors because it also likes the cold temperatures.
Okay.
But everything else you pretty much want to start inside at this point.
When you say start inside, does that mean literally just setting up little things around your house?
Setting up little things around you. I mean, if you're really into it, you have grow lights and warming mats and all the rest of it, but all you need is a sunny windowsill.
A sunny windowsill.
So all you need is a container. There are all sorts of containers out there that you can buy. You can also use so many different things from your own household use.
You recycle
This
things.
is a takeout container. This is your standard, pint container or even paper cups.
Wow, paper cups too.
A garage with no light would not be a good place.
Would not be good. You want at least 55, 60 degree temperatures.
Okay.
And once they sprout, you want light.
Light.
Okay.
And it can be a west window or a southern window light. It's not going to be great light, but you're not going to be in there for very long.
Okay.
Because our last frost dates in this state range from early May to late May.
Correct.
That's the last expected frost date. Mother Nature always does throw that on surprise at us.
Absolutely.
So you want to look at your seed packages. They're going to say right on them
what zone you're in.
Well, more importantly, how many days until it blooms or it's ready for harvest. How many of them will say how many days until they germinate. So you want to look back at how many days until they are going to germinate and come up, or how many days it's going to take for them to be ready to go outside, and then count back from your last frost date.
So much information. I never realized that.
It's
on the back of the packet.
You need a magnifying glass to read it.
No, exactly. Even I can read that. It says seed spreading. All right.
Yeah, seed spacing.
Seed spacing.
Yep.
So it'll tell you
6 inches.
when you plant it in the garden, how far apart they should be. What kind of light they want. Almost everything's going to want reasonably full sunlight.
Right.
When they're going to germinate, when you can expect to see the little green things coming up after you've planted them. And then you can figure out if I want them to be, a couple inches tall and kind of sturdy and ready to go when I put them out. When's my last frost date? Add a week.
Add a week.
Be careful, add a week.
Add a week.
And then you can count back to when you should start those seeds.
Okay.
So if we're starting this indoors, we are going to be taking our stuff outdoors, adding a week after the last expected frost date.
Then after that, you're going to start transplanting from these containers into your garden or your container, which is what we're going to be doing here this summer, container gardening.
How far does the seed go into the soil?
Not very, and it should tell you right there on the package. This one says depth of seed 1/4 inch.
Could we actually do one as an example just to show people?
Sure. So I've got we'll do this one we'll do this one.
What are some examples too of some things that you can start indoors? Is there something popular that
Almost
people
anything.
go
You
to?
can start marigolds. You can start
indoors.
Cosmos, which are what we're going to do today.
I love a good cosmos.
You certainly do.
Beans you want to actually do outside, but you can start lettuce. You can start eggplants. You can start peppers. You're going to start your tomatoes inside because they have a long growing season.
Do you do the separate containers for the lettuce?
That depends on the size of the container. In something like this, I do multiples. This is refusing to open for me today.
And Sarah, this is basically what the garden shops are doing. They're doing the same thing that we're going to be doing at home.
They've actually started it a little earlier because everybody wants their seeds sooner. So there are your seeds.
Okay.
These are actually large seeds compared to some.
And you put a few in.
And you're going to put 2 or 3 in. If it's older seed, maybe it's a year or 2 old, you might put in a little bit more because not all of them are going to germinate.
Oh, you literally just place them in there and just cover them in there.
That's it.
Put them all together.
And how often do you water them?
Fill this. You're going to bottom water it. So you're going to put water in the bottom of whatever container you've got.
And make it damp.
And let it
seep up.
Otherwise, you disturb your seeds when you
That's
pour
the
water
whole
on
thing.
top.
It makes them move around.
I would have totally not known
Put
that.
a top on of some sort. This is a takeout container. I just cut the top off and put it on.
What a good way to recycle, by the way, and
things you can do, though.
I actually see a little lo mein in there.
Look at that. Those are chopsticks?
And that's your vegetable bag from the grocery store.
Oh, my gosh.
There's your top.
Yeah, it's so
You
clever.
don't want it soggy.
Don't
but you
want it
want
soggy.
It damp.
Damp. Okay. So watering, just water the...
Every couple days.
Every couple days in the bottom.
Yeah.
Nothing on the top, though.
Ideally, nothing on the top. If
Okay.
the only way you can do it is to top water them, just do it really gently.
Maybe like a spray bottle?
Right, like
Okay.
a spray bottle.
One
And
more-
on something like this,
Yeah.
because it is a container that is sealed on the bottom, make sure you have holes.
Oh,
Put,
okay.
put a hole in
Put
it.
some holes in
One
it.
more
Okay,
quick
very
question. Soil. I'm always stressed out
Yeah,
at the
me
beginning of the
too.
year. What do I do? What kind do I get?
For starting seeds, you want a seed starting soil.
Seed starting
It's going to say
soil.
seed starting soil. It's a very fine soil. The seeds will be able to germinate through it quickly.
I don't think I've even heard of that. I just
I
think
haven't either.
potting
Don't start
soil.
seeds. Potting soil is our next step.
Oh.
That's what we'll be using outside.
Okay.
Terrific.
I'll save my questions about potting soil for next time then. Also, congratulations. You're heading into retirement.
I am officially retired. I'm still guest lecturing, but my time is my own, and I get to play in my own garden.
And you get to play with us, and we're very
I
excited
get to
to
play
have
with
you.
you
So
guys
excited.
again.
Container
How
garden,
can people
thank you.
contact you, especially if they want you to be a
Well,
lecturer?
they can contact the Master Gardeners at
Okay.
mastergardener.uconn.edu.
Okay, great.
And if they want to get a hold of me, they can ask them to get a hold of me.
And
That's
there's all the
wonderful.
info right there on your screen.
there.
Get in touch with the Master Gardener.
All
I think
right.
that's terrific. Thank you so much,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Happy spring.
Happy
Happy
spring.
spring.
It's sprung. We're happy you're here.
And
We're
let's
gonna
go
learn.
for another great season.
Yeah,
Sunflowers.
absolutely.
These were Denise's favorite.
There we go.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay.
All right.